Star Trek Voyager Remastered.
It would not have made any difference. If I had not discovered the cascade, it would have been someone else, don't you see? It was a scientific inevitability, one discovery flowing naturally to the next. Something so enormous as science will not stop for something as small as man, Mr. Neelix.
So you did it for science?
For my planet. And yes, for science. To know whether or not it could be done. It's good to know how the world works. It is not possible to be a scientist unless you believe that all the knowledge of the universe and all the power that it bestows is of intrinsic value to everyone. And one must share that knowledge and allow it to be applied. And then be willing to live with the consequences.
Consequences? Who are you to talk about consequences?
You are not the only one to lose family during the war, Mr. Neelix.
Your family was killed?
Nothing as clean as death. When I returned home after the cascade to my wife, my lovely wife, Gauri, she could not bear to look at me. When I would reach out for her, she would pull away, as if I had some contagious disease. You see, like you, she thought I had become a monster. Shortly after that, she took my 3 children. And I have not seen them since.
That's a sad story, Jetrel. But let me tell you another one. A man goes back to Rhinax after the cascade. Back to what had been his home. To look for survivors. But the impact of the blast has set off hundreds of fires, and there's nothing there. Just smoldering ruins. The stench of seared flesh. But in the distance, in the middle of all that emptiness, from out of this huge cloud of billowing dust, he can see bodies moving, whimpering, coming toward him. They're monsters. Their flesh horribly charred. The color of shale. One of them comes toward him. Mangled arms outstretched. And he can't help it. He turns away, frightened. But then the thing speaks. And he knows by the sound of her voice that she's not a monster at all, but a child. A little girl.
Mr. Neelix, why?
Her name was Palaxia. We brought her back to Talax with the other survivors. Over the next few weeks, I stayed at her bedside and watched her wither away. Those are consequences, Dr. Jetrel.
There is no way I can ever apologize to you, Mr. Neelix. That's why I have not tried.
Did you ever think that maybe your wife was right? That you had become a monster?
Yes. The day we tested the cascade, when I saw that blinding light, brighter than 1,000 suns, I knew at that moment exactly what I had become.
I hope you have to live with that a very long time.
I'm afraid you will not get your wish, Mr. Neelix.
And why is that?
I have advanced matremia. I will be dead in a matter of days.